Hey guys, Master Mark Kanar here today, and I just was going to give you guys a message. Today is kind of a very special day for me, not because it's like roses, rainbows, and sunshine, so to speak, but April 7th is a day of reflection of my life because I lost somebody that on this day that really influenced me in a very positive way, and his name was Hultz. He was one of my first karate instructors back in the 90s, and he was a coach of mine. And when I think about his life, I think about how much he really influenced me. You know, I was a teenager. I didn't have very good self-esteem or very high self-esteem. And he was one of those people in life that you run into that really understands how to pull greatness out of you. You know, and when I think about people that really help out kids, it's usually their parents that really believe in them more than they believe in themselves. And, you know, as you go through life, you need that coach, you need that mentor that isn't your relative to kind of pull the greatness out of you. And I think about like how he was as a human being. And when I think about him, I think about my own father. I have really great parents, my mom and dad. I couldn't ask for any better parents, honestly. And one thing my dad had was he was a really big guy. And when I was a kid, he'd run around the house. He wouldn't have a shirt on. He was super hairy, super masculine, super strong. But the thing that made him so great was the compassion he had in his heart, how he cared about other people. I remember talking to one of my buddies one time, and he used to spend the night at my house, and he told me he felt safer at my house than his own house. And I thought about that, and I said, you know, my dad was very compassionate, even though he was very masculine. And in our society today, we don't really, we act like we don't want men to have masculinity. Like this isn't an idea that they don't, that they're trying to cram down our throats, so to speak. But the reality is you do need that masculine force in any relationship. And in that situation, my father, his masculinity was great because you could sense it. But the thing is he also understood compassion. And that was something that really, really, really made me feel safe as a kid, even to this day. You know, if I have a problem, I can go talk to my father, and he still has those compassionate eyes on me that he knows that no matter what I do, he still cares about me. And when I think about Rod, he had that same masculine energy. He was a martial art instructor, like 6'1", weighed like 220, 230, really a solid guy, a welder, really tough guy. And even though he coached me for a couple years and I lost, he never gave up on me. He believed in me more than I believed in myself. And I remember him telling me like, hey man, one day when you decide to win, you'll start to win, you know? And I didn't see what he saw. And one day I remember him videotaping one of my matches and him sitting down with me and talking to me about, you know, making me watch it. And I was like, that's me in there? He goes, yeah. I go, well, no wonder you think I could win. I'm pretty fast. I didn't believe I was fast. I didn't think I was quick. And in 1998, he ended up taking me to the PKC Nationals down in Canton, Ohio. And I remember getting first place, and I remember him being there, and I remember him cheering me on, you know. And I'm on Facebook today, and I see that a lot of his family members are still grieving, and they always will, you know, because he was such a great guy. And when I think about how I deal with my grief about the situation and the loss of such a great guy, I think about what he did for me and how I have to realize that a piece of his spirit, a piece of what he taught me is still with me. You know, he really influenced me in that way. You know, he reached right down in my soul and believed in a kid that didn't have very much confidence, you know, and he really pulled the greatness out of me. And I'm very blessed to have somebody like that in my life. And there's several people I can think that really believed in me more than I believed in myself. And like I said, you need to really find those people. And the way that I always show them respect is I literally want to live a life that he'd be very, very proud of. You know, and when I'm out there teaching, I teach a lot of the things that he does. And I've been very lucky, very blessed with certain athletes that are still with me to this day that was taught by him. Master Paul Rocha and Master Enos and Mr. Worth, all of us were taught by him. We stuck with it, you know, and a piece of him is with all of us. And in order to get through the grieving feeling of the loss that we have, we really have to reflect on what he did for us and to, you know, give back to our community, so to speak, what he gave us. because he gave us a very special gift that to me is there's no amount of value you can put on it. It was something that was very, very deep. Here's a masculine guy who had a very compassionate heart. And in our society, that's, in my opinion, what a real man should be. That's what a real man should be, and that's what we should teach our young people. And, every day, that's what I'm out there teaching the kids at the school, at the high school, but also in the martial art world. I'm teaching them not just about life, or just not about martial arts, but about life and being able to empower themselves to be something greater than what they really are, and you need to surround yourself with people just like Rod Hultz was. And I'll always miss him, but you know what? He's always with me. And that's all I have to say for today. So hopefully you like this speech, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.